In this video, I'm going to teach you how to recreate this viral Instagram reel entirely inside DaVinci Resolve. By the end, you'll know exactly how to build this from scratch. First things first, add a background node and connect it to the media out. Then, with that background selected, add a second one. This is going to be our search box. For the foreground, change the color to almost white and throw on a rectangle mask. For the back node, go ahead and set the color to dark gray. Now let's shape that rectangle into a square. I usually just use the green circle on screen to do this, but if you want the full breakdown on that, I covered it in my previous video. Definitely go check that out. Next, let's bring in the Google logo. I've dropped the file in the description, so go grab that. Connect the logo to the background and a new merge node will pop up automatically. The scale's going to be off, so just add a transform node and scale it down. Alright, let's talk animation. It starts with a slide, then transitions into a morph. I like to keep things organized, so I'm going to add a separate transform node between the mask and the background, just for the animation. Go to the 1 second mark, which is frame 25, and drop a keyframe for position. Then head back to frame 0 and set the X value to 0. Now here's the most important step, the bounce effect. I'll show you the easy way. Open the Spline Editor, select all your keyframes, and press S. To get that bounce, you need the value graph to go higher than the target and then settle back down below it. Just follow the graph on my screen. Once that's done, go into your settings, turn on motion blur, and crank both the quality and shutter angle all the way up. Watch it now. You can really feel that smooth bounce. To save time, I'm just going to copy that transform node with the animation and paste it after the logo. Way faster. But if you look closely, the animation distance is too small. So go back to the first frame and decrease the X value to give it more room to slide. That's better. But to really make it look professional, we need to fix the masking. Select the mask and the transform node, then connect their output to the merge node. This makes sure the logo is masked by the exact same square shape. And yeah, the difference is pretty clear. Next up, the morph animation. The idea is simple. We want to transform the box into a search bar shape. Jump to frame 24, select the mask node, and add a keyframe for both height and width. Then move forward to around frame 40 and adjust those values until you get that search bar look. And don't forget the corners. Add a keyframe for corner radius back at frame 24 as well. Then at frame 40, crank that value all the way up to make it perfectly round. Open the Spline Editor and apply that same bounce effect to each graph. Since I've already walked through that, I'll keep it moving. And here's the result. Now, to make the logo slide up and disappear, select the transform node right after the logo media. Go to frame 25 and add a keyframe for position. Jump to frame 40 and move it up. In the spline, shape the curve so it starts fast and eases out. Just follow my curve on screen. For the color change, go back to frame 25. Select the background node and add a keyframe for color. Move to frame 40 and change it to gray. In the Spline Editor, select all those keyframes, right-click, and go Ease Out Cubic. And here's the result. Finally, let's add the text. Connect a text node to the output of the merge node, type in your word, pick your font, set your size, and add whatever animation you like to bring it in. To wrap up the search bar, let's drop in the search icon. Drag your transparent icon into the node graph and connect it before the text. Now, if you want to change the icon's color to white, here's the trick. Add a new background node, plug the icon into its mask input, then connect the background to the merge node. Now you can set the color to whatever you want. As always, grab a transform node to adjust the size and position. For the animation, go to frame 30 and move the Y position down to hide it. Important step here. Connect the main mask output to this new merge node. This keeps the icon masked inside the bar. Then jump to frame 50, bring the icon back up, and use the Spline Editor to add that bounce effect from earlier. And there we go. Now, let's create the small cursor. For that, let's add a new background node and connect it to the output of the merge node. A new one will appear. Now, drag the ellipse mask and connect it to the background mask. Then change the background node color. Let's choose a light orange color. Then, to clean up the edge, select the ellipse mask and increase the border width a little bit. This will help us create a smoother edge. After that, reduce the size until it fits nicely inside the search bar. And one more thing. I don't really like how strong the color looks right now, so I'm going to make it a little lighter gray, closer to our background color. To begin the animation, click the transform node icon to add one. Now let's go back to frame 40. Make sure the transform node is selected. Then adjust the center position to move it off screen and set a keyframe for center. Next, jump to frame 55 and change the position so it lands on the search icon. Go one frame back to frame 54 and add a keyframe for size. Then return to frame 55 and increase the size value. Move 2 frames forward to frame 57 and bring the size down just slightly. It's a small detail, but it makes a big difference. Now let's select the green line on screen so the cursor moves along a curve instead of a straight line. Open the spline graph and press S to smooth out the animation. And here's what we've got so far. Alright, now it's time to morph the search bar into the Instagram page. Just like before, go to the frame where you want the animation to start. That's frame 54. Select the rectangle mask and add keyframes for width, height, and corner. Then move to frame 80 and adjust the values until you get the shape you're looking for. In the spline graph, select the last 2 keyframes and apply the bounce effect like we did before. Then select the right keyframe and make the animation start fast. Match it to my graph. Here's the result. The next step is to remove the logo. Select the merge node after the logo node. Go to the frame where the logo starts to disappear. Add a keyframe for blend. Move 1 frame forward and set the value to 0. Just like that, the logo fades out. For the text, same approach. Go to frame 54, select the merge node after the text, and add a keyframe for blend. Then jump to frame 60 and set it to 0. In the spline graph, smooth the animation out. Same thing for the cursor, or you can skip it since we're switching to a white background anyway. To do that, select the background node, go to frame 55 and add a keyframe for color. Move forward 10 frames and change the color to white. In the spline graph, select the last 2 keyframes, right-click and choose Ease, Cubic Ease. And here's the result so far. We also need to change the background color. Select the main background node, go to frame 56 and add a keyframe for color. Then move to frame 65 and change it to white as well. Keep in mind, how smooth this transition feels really depends on your keyframe spacing, so adjust that to your taste. We want a clear contrast between the Instagram page and the main background. Now let's add a drop shadow. In the inspector, bring the distance all the way down, then tweak the strength and blur however you like. And here's where our animation stands right now. Alright, let's add those impact circles, to really sell that scale-up feel. Let's knock this out quickly. Add a new background node, then throw on an ellipse mask and change the color to purple. Now to get that transparent look like in the original animation, add another background node and connect it to the output of the first one. In the inspector, drop the alpha all the way down to 0. Now if you select the last merge node and decrease the opacity, perfect. Just make sure the transparent background is in the background input. If it's not, hit Ctrl-T to swap the inputs. And there we go. For the edge ring, I'm going to copy the ellipse mask and the background node, Ctrl-C, then paste them into the workspace as an instance using Ctrl-Shift-V. Connect the background to the merge output, then select the instance mask, right-click, and choose Solid to de-instance it. Check the box, then de-instance the border width as well, and crank that value up. And there's your edge ring. The reason we're using instance nodes here is so that later, if we want to animate or change the color, we only have to do it once and it updates everywhere. Super handy. And with 2 separate merge nodes, we can control the opacity of each one independently. Now let's animate. First, swap the merge input so the circles sit below the Instagram page. Go to frame 61, select the mask, and link the width and height together using an expression. Just connect it like I'm doing on screen. This way, when you decrease the height to 0, the width follows automatically. Add a keyframe for height. Then move to frame 71 and increase the height value. In the Spline Editor, select all keyframes, right-click, and go Ease, Cubic Ease. And here's the result. Now go to the last frame, select the merge node after the edge ring, and add a keyframe for blend at 0. Go back 3 frames, select the other merge node, and add a keyframe for blend at 0 as well. This creates a slight delay between the two. Go back to frame 60. Bring the first merge node's value up to 0.33. Then select the edge merge node and bring it to 1. Finally, to create that second circle like in the original, add a new merge node and connect the output into both new inputs. Click somewhere in the workspace, then press Ctrl-Space and search for speed change. Connect it to one of the inputs. Now if you increase the delay value, the second circle will follow behind the first. And just like that, this whole stage of the animation is complete. Quick tip. Always take the time to customize and clean up your workspace. It makes a bigger difference than you'd think, so don't skip that step. Alright, just drop your screenshot into the workspace. First thing, connect the page to the merge node. Connect the mask we animated earlier to the new merge node. This is what keeps the page sitting inside the shape we built, so we can control it inside our mask. Then add a transform node to adjust the size and position and get everything lined up the way you want. Now that it's sitting inside the mask, let's get into the animation. The first thing we need to do is separate all the text elements we want to animate individually. To do that, add a rectangle mask and connect it to the page media. I'll duplicate the page once just so I can clearly see where I want to place each mask. Connect the outputs together and a new merge node will appear. Adjust the first mask to cover the first line of text. Then add a new mask for the second, and keep going for every element you want to animate. Go ahead and finish all of that, then come back. Alright, now that every element has its own mask, let's animate. Select the first media page and add a transform node. The animation is a slide up, so we're going to lower the Y center value. Go to the frame where you want it to start. I'm starting at frame 61. Bring the Y value down so it's hidden below, and add a keyframe. Then move forward 20 frames and return the value to 0.5. Open the Spline Editor and apply that same bounce effect we've been using throughout this video. And here's how it looks. Now, if you pay attention, you'll notice the text is visible before the animation even starts, and we obviously don't want that. The fix is simple. Select the first page media, go to the inspector, and under the global in-out section, set the in point to the same frame your animation starts. For me, that's frame 61. This way, the layer only becomes visible starting at that frame. Much cleaner. Now select the second media layer and set its in point to frame 63. The next one at 65, then 67. Just add 2 frames between each layer. Once you've done that for all of them, copy the transform node and paste it after each layer. This saves you from having to redo the same animation over and over. Then head to the keyframe tab. This lets you shift keyframes around without touching the spline graph. So just slide all the keyframes to where they need to be. And that's a clean, simple way to build the Instagram page animation. There are other approaches too, and if you want me to cover those, let me know in the comments. Now the full animation in this video really comes down to 2 core techniques, the morph and the bounce. Once you understand those, everything else follows. That's it for this one. See you in the next video.